There was a period in my life when I worked hard, stayed busy, and still felt like money was constantly slipping through my fingers. It wasn't dramatic. I wasn't broke overnight. It was more subtle than that. No matter how much effort I put in, how many hours I sacrificed, or how many plans I made, financial stability always felt just out of reach. And for a long time, I thought the problem was external. The economy. Bad luck. The wrong people. The wrong timing. It took me years to realize something uncomfortable. Money wasn't avoiding me because I didn't deserve it, it was avoiding the way I thought. We like to believe money is purely logical. Work more, earn more. Be smart, get rich. But the truth is, money responds to mindset long before it responds to effort. Two people can do the same job, with the same skills, and end up in completely different financial realities. One grows steadily. The other stays stuck. The difference usually isn't intelligence or talent. It's the invisible beliefs they carry every day, about worth, scarcity, risk, and control. I remember noticing how often I told myself things like, money is stressful, money changes people, or rich people are greedy. I never questioned those thoughts. I absorbed them from conversations, from childhood, from society. And here's the strange part, even when I wanted more money, a part of me didn't trust it. Didn't feel safe with it. Didn't feel worthy of it. And money, in a strange way, senses that. You don't chase money away by hating it. You chase it away by fearing it. There was a moment that really opened my eyes. I met someone who earned less than me but lived with far more financial peace. They weren't constantly stressed. They weren't obsessed with status. They simply respected money. They tracked it. Planned with it. Talked about it calmly. And I realized something powerful, money doesn't like chaos. It doesn't like avoidance. It doesn't like emotional extremes. It moves toward clarity, structure, and calm decision-making. One of the biggest lies we're told is that wanting money makes you shallow. In reality, avoiding money conversations is what keeps people stuck. I used to avoid checking my finances because it made me anxious. But avoiding it didn't remove the problem, it just removed my control. Once I started facing numbers honestly, without judgment, things slowly began to change. Not instantly, but consistently. Here's a life hack most people overlook: money follows responsibility, not dreams. You can dream about freedom all day, but if you avoid responsibility, tracking expenses, setting boundaries, delaying gratification, money won't stay with you. I learned to stop asking, how can I make more, and start asking, how can I manage better what already comes in? That single shift changed everything. I also noticed how emotional spending was tied to self-worth. Buying things to feel better. To feel equal. To feel seen. Money leaks fastest when it's used to patch emotional holes. Once I became aware of that pattern, I started pausing before spending. Asking myself, is this solving a problem, or distracting me from one? That pause alone saved me more money than any budgeting app. Another story comes to mind. I watched someone get a sudden increase in income, and lose it just as quickly. Not because they were irresponsible, but because their mindset didn't upgrade with their income. They still thought like someone who expected money to disappear. So they rushed. Overcommit. Overproved. And eventually, money left again. Income grows faster than mindset, but wealth never does. When you change your financial mindset, something subtle happens. You stop chasing shortcuts. You stop comparing your timeline to others. You become patient. Strategic. You understand that money is a long-term relationship, not a one-time win. And just like any relationship, it responds to how you treat it consistently, not occasionally. This doesn't mean becoming obsessed with money. In fact, obsession repels it. Calm focus attracts it. Planning attracts it. Self-respect attracts it. One of the most powerful shifts for me was separating my identity from my income. When you don't tie your worth to money, you make better decisions with it. You take fewer emotional risks. You think longer term. Another simple habit that helped me was tracking progress instead of perfection. Some months were messy. Some decisions weren't ideal. But instead of quitting, I kept observing. Adjusting. Learning. Money grows where awareness lives. Not where guilt lives. The truth is, money doesn't avoid you because you're lazy or unlucky. It avoids confusion, fear, self-sabotage. And the moment you start working on those internally, your external situation slowly responds. Not overnight, but reliably. At the end of the day, financial freedom isn't just about numbers. It's about trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your ability to handle more. Trust that you don't need to rush, prove, or impress. Money flows toward people who are clear, grounded, and intentional. So if you feel like money keeps slipping away, don't ask what you're doing wrong. Ask what you believe. About yourself. About money. About stability. Because the life-changing shift doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. And once that changes, money stops avoiding you, and starts responding.